What up, guys? Welcome to Base Damage, and this is part one of our on the road heading to regionals. This is Kool-Aid, and we got
Joe Schmo here.
What up? I'm kind of having to go low tech like I did the other week on the road with my other buddy. Shout outs to Trey. What's up, bro? Kind of having to go low tech because recording with my phone while we're driving. We just passed south of the border, yeah.
Place is going downhill.
So it really has. Like, it's still kind of cool, but it's obviously just like a little tourist attraction thing. That's whatever. But it is Saturday morning as we are heading to Georgia. I know the regionals isn't until tomorrow, but we are heading up today, get our hotel room and everything, get prepared, mentally and whatnot.
Sure.
So I figured leading up to this, I honestly could care less how long this is. The first part of this, we're going to be talking about, obviously, what's up?
Expectations and shit.
Yeah, expectations. There's going to be like a little intermission thing, maybe like a video or something, I don't know. And then we're going to have part two, which is us coming back. So if you want to head to part two, I'll put like a timestamp or something, I don't know. But I can freely just like edit this however long we end up talking for. It's whatever. Because this, I used to use this phone for recording like all the original podcasts, like up to 30 something.
Yeah, 30 something.
Like I forget what. But yeah, it's very, very cool. Being able to go to a Weiss regionals. I've been to Yu-Gi-Oh regionals, MTG regionals before. Not been to Force of Will or Vanguard before, even though, Vanguard by Bushiroad and all that, it's whatever. So I've been to other ones, and honestly found out something. I was talking to a Waifu Wars, and I did not realize that registration was free.
Hey, it's a Bushiroad thing.
I didn't realize that. I was so used to always having to pay registration for, Yu-Gi-Oh! And MTG and whatnot, depending on what it was. But that's also because they like end up giving you product. Like it's essentially kind of like how some shops do for their locals, where you buy X amount of packs to enter in for the tournament or whatever, or buy a pack, depending on where you're at. That's kind of what they would do for Yu-Gi-Oh! Would be you would enter, they would give you X amount of whatever the most recent pack or a particular set was, and that was considered your entry, was buying their product. So I didn't know if that was going to be something along those lines for maybe the most recent pack, but I guess they really can't do that for Weiss as easily because not everyone's going to want the newest set.
Exactly.
Also because the newest set being AOT, it's funny enough as it is, looking to be like a very, very strong competitor, and something we're going to have to definitely keep an eye out for.
What do you fear the most?
Actually, that's actually one of the bigger ones, is AOT. Since I'm taking Kantai, one of the bigger things I have to worry about late game is where my finishers are Akagi Kai. And her clock shoot, I have to be able to reverse my opponent. If they have a new event that just straight bounces the character back to hand. Whereas before, sorry, I was bumping the road. If you would just kind of hold it like this.
Yeah, I got you.
Speaker's right there. Where before they had it's still the omnidirectional mobility gear, but there's no cards that I know currently in Kantai or whatever that state, during this character's battle. As far as like to give like a Akagi Kai an effect of during this character's battle, you can't. Your opponent can't activate events or backups or whatever type thing. So that's something I feel that I had to worry about a bit more, where the omnidirectional movement gear, the first set, you can move a character to an open position of your stage. So that usually required you to obviously leave a space open. If they didn't have any spaces open, they couldn't do that. They could still do the search effects and whatnot, which is cool. Always good for hand filtering and whatnot, so whatever, and a little teeny bit of compressions, whatever. But now the new one just straight says, pay 1 stock, bounce the character back to your hand, and then add another character from your waiting room to your hand, and then discard 1 card. So you end up paying basically 2 cards from hand and a stock to get a character off the field and get a character back from your waiting room to hand. It seems like it doesn't even out, but if your opponent does have an on reverse effect, it does. Especially, like I said, with my finisher, and that event can be played at level 1. That actually hurts, that's why I prefer my Searching Climax combo, because I don't have to worry about reversing anyone. If this was still the days of, Shimikaze for, my build of Kantai, I'd have to worry a lot more, because that can already be played at level freaking 1. So, yeah, Shimikaze would be like, uh-oh. Shit. Not like, she kind of have a problem to begin with because everyone's walling up nowadays.
Yeah, true.
Strangely enough, that's actually, I think people try to wall up more because of Mekon from TLR. I could be completely totally wrong on that, but that's just the way I kind of see it for a lot of stuff. What do you fear the most for this? Enough of my preaching.
See, my big thing is the switch combo from SAO.
I know we'll definitely see SAO.
Yeah, I know we're going to see SAO, but I'm curious if anyone's going to do, Sinon Yuki and do all that weird stuff.
Yeah, that's like the main 2 builds. The main 2 builds are switch combo and last shot.
No, see, I still wanted to do, because I ran this by our group, I really wanted to go show up Milky Holmes, just be like, all right, guys.
God, you're not even trying, bro. You're just looking to piss off people.
I mean, I wouldn't mind triggering a couple people here and there. They really get triggered from it, then they deserve it. But no, my thing would be is it's really honestly Sword Art and Tulavru. I played against them well enough to know what I'm expecting, but I'm still not ready.
Yeah. That is TLR. Obviously you got to worry about SAO's going to be probably between SAO and AOT are probably going to be the most played. As far as probably the highest representation, as far as it being the new hotness and all, and obviously because SAO has been rampant ever since Re-Edit. Underdogs, I say underdogs, but as far as other decks that potentially need to be looked out for, apparently Bang Dream has been doing great. Shout out to Contains Anime.
Woohoo, go Cam.
We were hoping to be able to see him. Sadly, he
went to a different regional.
Had to go to a different regional because he was planning to go to Florida. We were going to meet up with so many people from the podcast group. Oh my God, Waifu Wars, him, Pay 3 for Haneo, just a whole bunch of different people we were going to meet up with. And it would have just been so freaking awesome. But sadly, location being changed, it's closer for us, so we don't have to drive as far.
I mean, it would have been closer for them too.
Well, yeah. I'm saying but also because of the change, it took a while for
them to get their plane ticket money back.
Plane ticket and hotel. It took a while for that to get back, and I was glad they were able to get the refunds, thank goodness. From what I've been told, I believe they got all the refunds back. Oh, man. So, it would have been cool to be able to meet a whole bunch of people. I still hope to be able to see some people I might know. Maybe some people I don't care to see. I don't know. I'm just kind of, it's whatever. It would still be freaking awesome. Who else? What else? As far as expectations of regionals, it was actually worded a very good way, and this is, I know in the last low-tech, quote-unquote, podcast I had to do by myself, was mostly talking about, the overtly competitive players, and I clarified in a comment, but one of the people who listened to it did say, that's kind of what people are there for, is to try to test themselves. and try to compete against the better players in the region, and I do agree with that. I do agree that you're going there because you want to be able to play. But I don't agree with people trying to win by whatever means necessary, as in roll sharking and whatnot. By all means, I thoroughly enjoy... when I played Yu-Gi-Oh!, MTG and all this, I always had what I considered rivals. And in all sorts of card games, there's always would be someone that I would look up to and want to kind of set myself like a mini goal of, hey, I would love to be able to get to their level of skill and be able to play against them one day, maybe beat them. I don't even care if I don't. I want. It would be great if I could beat them, sure, but just to try to compete on their level and try to eventually aim towards beating them was goals that I set for myself. Have you ever set any kind of those for yourself? Or, I mean, it could be outside of a card game. Didn't you try to get into competitive into some other?
Well, for Card Fight, I got ready for a long time, and then we did it, and then that regionals in itself was messed up. But yeah, for a while I was trying to get competitive with Card Fight as best as I could, but can only do so much against people sacking you to death.
Yeah, that was a issue people ran across, and caused some hate in the Yu-Gi-Oh community when Weiss Schwarz came out.
And see, how I view it, Weiss is harder to prepare for regionals because a lot of people aren't net decking.
A lot of people net deck.
Well, I'm talking about you see more of a variety in the net decking than compared to Yu-Gi-Oh, where it's gonna be like
mirror copy. As far as like the people who actually give a crap, they will. I have seen people who do just kind of straight copy, but they'll at least learn the deck. Mm-hmm. To a degree, I've seen people in Yu-Gi-Oh who would just straight buy, like, back when Burning Abyss was like the shit. It's still popular today. But I'm talking about the hotness. You couldn't... Almost like...
see it everywhere.
Yeah, almost like Zodiacs type thing. You see it everywhere, and...
So you can put stuff, like specifically for that in your deck while dealing with other stuff.
Yeah, like, I'm talking like people would buy an entire Burning Abyss deck.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Dante's would be like fucking... I think Dante's got to $100 a piece at one point. I could be wrong. I can't remember the exact prices back then, but this is... I'm talking like $300 to $500 decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! Side deck and everything. And I knew people who would just straight buy the deck off somebody online, go to play it, and like, why am I losing? Because they don't learn the fucking deck.
It's supposed to play itself, Billy. That's why you pay money on the internet.
God, no. But see, that's also like one of the things that I do. I was talking to Jason the other day, one of the other guys that are locals. He was talking about... He was the one who made the Angel Beats deck, and I actually went through, tested it out and whatnot, and we ended up doing the deck profile for it. Unless it is someone else's deck, if it's any deck that I have posted that I haven't explicitly said was someone else's, I always test out my decks. I don't just like
throw it together
and then just do a deck profile for it for content's sake. I like having the content, but I always test play the decks and play them and go, okay, I've seen this, whatever, as far as get a feel for it before I ever record, before I ever attempt to record a deck profile. That's the thing, is you have to, especially for regionals, like, you have to kind of know your deck inside and out. There was always the probability thing. Oh, they are building a new way station over there. That's cool. Even for Yu-Gi-Oh, there was always the probability of, am I going to draw this? Am I going to draw that? Da-da-da. You have to worry about probability so much fucking more in Weiss than you have to in, like, any other card game.
Well, see, that's why I chose to do Nico out of all my other decks. I know that better than anything else I use.
Yeah.
Besides Nozomi, but Nozomi's a different story. Hey, look, a truck that's not moving.
Yeah.
But, Nozomi's a different story. She's a beast that never wants to work. Meanwhile, Nico will work and fight. So I'm using Nico over Nozomi for that simple fact.
Yeah. Which, we had to make a whole bunch of tweaks to that deck.
Never mind.
He was like, hey, I need to change some stuff around. I ended up going through, actually taking a couple people's advice on some changes to Kantai. Oh no, I'm not giving particular
no.
people. I'm not giving shout outs.
Oh no, I thought you were talking about for my thing.
Oh no. For Kantai, I mean, I always try to keep an open mind for any of the decks that I'm building and anything pertaining to something I want to post. Oh, who was it? Burn One. I think it was Burn One who commented on the Glitter Green deck when I posted that and was like, hey, you're going to want to look at this Drop Searcher. And I wanted to just kind of keep it mono green, just keep with the budget theme of just a single color. For the most part, I teched in like the one tie backup just for the fuck of it. But I've been looking through the other cards in the Bang Dream deck because I thought the Exodia quote unquote combo deck was kind of cool. This is a concept because of the implementing the standby trigger. But obviously him and Burn One and Audrey both commented and was like, hey, you're gonna want to look at this. They sent me links for some other deck builds that have been tested. Apparently one dude took tour regionals and whatnot, like almost won the regionals apparently, or like placed very high with Glitter Green. So sadly, if I had gotten all the stuff for Glitter Green by this point, I probably would be taking that to play a region. No lie.
Even though the internet said to play Kantai?
Oh no, yeah, because the internet said play Kantai, I plan to play Kantai. So yeah, for the most part, I like that when people post and be like, hey, you're going to want to look at this. I prefer that because that's people who have obviously tested stuff out or have looked at other deck builds, other people's deck builds, and looked at it and gone, okay, how does the synergy for this look? And maybe they tested it out themselves, or maybe they know people who have tested them out and have gotten opinions, not just looked at it and gone, oh, your build's shit. No, I prefer constructive fucking criticism, not hate. If you're gonna sit there and be like, your deck is shit because X, Y, and Z, you're wrong because X, Y, and Z, or whatever reasons, I'm gonna go, okay, see ya. Not, hey, if they come up and like Burn One did, it was like, hey, look, you're gonna want to look at this because this is actually very good. It synergizes well with the deck. Whatever amount of copies you want to run, but I would recommend this. I completely and openly welcome that, and that's. Thank you. Shout outs to Burn One and to Audrey for that. Much appreciated. And I've already made the changes as far as messing around with that, so I have to test that deck build after having done those changes and mess around with it some more. I still need one more fucking copy of the Reclock shooter.
Look now, you're hoping too damn much.
It doesn't get TCG players being like a pain as far as that stuff. Oh my goodness.
I mean, I haven't even seen them on Weiss groups.
No.
So I don't know what to tell you.
It's apparently hard to find a lot of that stuff, but it's whatever. When a set that has only a certain amount of one color has rares that are harder to pull than fucking double rares, says something.
It's too OP, that's why.
Apparently.
They knew what they were doing.
Well, for like the Exodia combo, you don't have to worry about, for the Exodia combo, you have to have particular cards on the field. Glitter Green, you don't have to have every single one of them on the field, but it helps.
Oh yeah, it helps a lot.
It's what you aim for, but that's whatever. It's also only 4 girls as opposed to 5. Double the Yuri, triple the power. Anyway, sorry, I went off on a little tangent there, but it plays back into the whole... going back, sorry, I realize I went off on a tangent, but going back to the... I realize I'm also just kind of preaching at this point, I apologize, but I'm literally just kind of staring at a road and talking, so forgive me.
We're bummed out by south of the border, that's all it is.
I mean, it was like 9 o'clock in the morning when we stopped by there, and it's like, oh, wow, this place is dead currently. But yeah. I have no problem with someone who is competitive. I have no problem with someone who wants to play the game and win. Because, hey, Kyle, what's the goal of this game?
Have fun.
No. Well, that is true, but that triggers people. What is the non-triggering answer for that?
To win.
To win. What is the what do you have to do to win?
killing your opponent.
God fucking damn it. I don't even like saying God damn it, but I am saying it there. To get your opponent to level 4, right?
Yeah.
There. My God, Kyle.
Everything I stated was right, too.
Microphone's right
I know
there.
what I was saying. I know where I was putting it.
Anyway. So, the point of the game is to get your opponent to level 4, not trying to win through rule sharking. And that's probably not even an overtly competitive player. That's just an asshole.
Like right in front of us. Come on, Mr. Aldi.
Audi. You said Aldi, like the fucking grocery store.
Yeah, I know what I said.
Grocery store on wheels.
I'm telling you, man, this sleep deprivation is going to get to me sooner or later.
Bruh. You're running on, like, what, how much?
Maybe like 30 minutes, if that.
I'm running on like 4 hours. If that.
Fucking bad. Sleeps for the week. Fucking up on the computer all damn night.
He doesn't have internet. I don't blame him. I think he's off today, so that's why he was willing to.
Yeah, I don't blame him.
Yeah, we initially invite Matt over to like, hey, we're gonna, train Kyle some more and help him more with
Never happened.
Never ended up playing anything. We have to do that tonight as far as playing more games and testing out stuff. Speaking of, I did bring Glitter Green with me.
Okay.
So you can
well, there's 3 decks I have yet to play against.
well, that's whatever. Well, actually, you never played against me running that or Kantai.
Yes, there was 3 decks left. Those were 2. I'm not sure what the third one was.
Part of the training, quote unquote, was literally just him playing as many of my decks as possible in one go. I had like 10 decks. I think he played all but 3.
Yep.
Like those 2 and SAO.
Did you have SAO? Do you have SAO together?
Yeah.
Then yeah, it was SAO I didn't play against.
I have the Zekinuki last shot combo.
Yeah, I didn't play against that.
See, that's one thing that was brought up a while back. See, going back into kind of the meta thing, those 2 decks are the things for SAO is the last shot finisher versus the switch combo finisher. Both of which are just so insanely consistent. I was kind of worried about how much hand you have to kind of commit for switch combo, but it wasn't that bad.
It just happened to get him.
It's not even a happen. You get like a couple cards off Zek and Yuki and you're straight. Hell, I ran two of the different engines just to see, because I wanted to try blue-yellow, and then I wanted to try the blue-yellow-green. Green splashing in Zek and Yuki, obviously. So that was the second build that I attempted, was with the Zek and Yuki with switch combo. The first time was actually testing out Inherited Sword Skill Asuna. It was one of the new engines, quote-unquote, kind of cheaper by far than stuff like Zek and Yuki. Zek and Yuki used to be pretty expensive. It's cheap as fuck now. It's like $3 a piece.
Thank you, reprint.
Yeah, I know, right? Back like in the day when Shimikaze was like $20 or so, most of the Inherited Sword Skill Asunas were only like $7 to $8 a piece or something like that. I think like $9. But really freaking awesome that they were that cheap. And the only issue of it was like it was off of the 1K1 spin trigger instead of like a gold bar or anything that you can make certain to get to hand. But I did try out that build, and even that was still amazingly consistent. It was just kind of crazy, to be completely honest. Like, you are pulling off the switch combo probably every single game. Admittedly, there's not as many disruptors. I say disruptors for the last shot build, because a lot of people were like, oh, you can, put in Titan's power and any rest counters, and you kind of just completely and totally stop at least an extra attack off of the switch combo. So a lot of what people would do is, put more copies of that in. Titan's power ends up like removing the reverse character from play, because most of the time they just put down an Asuna, and even if they suicide with the Asuna, you can still do the switch combo. Mm-hmm. But if they swung and the person goes Titan's power, your character gets reversed, send it to memory. So stuff like that. So
Aqua does that too.
Aqua does that off of a level 1 that's like a 7K.
Yes.
So obviously they can't attack into that and do that. But that's actually another good point. Like Konosuba is going to be a potentially interesting thing. I think that's what Taylor said he was ended up taking.
He's doing tricolor, right?
Yeah. Like apparently the Konosuba shenanigans are real.
You should know that more than me.
I'm actually not even trying to build anything from it.
I'm talking about going against it. The Taylor shenanigans.
Yeah, he ended up winning our shop challenge. So, which it was during Swiss I played against him and beat him. But during the top cut, it was me and him in the finals, and he ended up winning by a small margin. But it was still good because I know he's going to use the bye.
Did you guys do 2 rounds for the top cut?
Yeah, we only ended up having
well, no, like, because remember when we did the shop challenge the first time, we had to play against each other twice.
Yeah, but that was because we played against each other in the final rounds of Swiss, and then we played each other in the final of top.
For some reason, I thought it was 2 rounds for the final. I don't know why. Wow. I was sitting here like, I don't want to go through that again. Not again.
No, I played him way later. Sadly, Nick was running the AOT with a whole bunch of the new cards, and he was getting crapped on. It's kind of a surprise.
I need to play against him tonight. I need to get a feel for Attack on Titan.
Yeah. I think he said he was going to switch up to SAO.
Well, either way, I still need a...
Timminsville!
Hi, Tim.
I'm just saying. It's kind of funny.
I think this might be a good stopping point.
Might be a good stopping point?
It's like 26.
Oh, that's fine. So, we're going to call it cuts here on part 1 after hearing me rant for 26 minutes. So, we're going to have like a little intermission and chill for a bit.
Montage.
Might do like show a couple clips, a couple seconds of a training montage or something. I don't know. We'll do something. Part 2 incoming. Here we go.
Say, look. Oh yeah, let's vlog him vlog.
Let's vlog.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
I like it.
Now let me vlog Billy vlogging him vlogging.
Vlogging me.
I'll vlog you vlogging Billy.
Vlogging vlogs.
Vlogception, yeah.
Vlogception. Can we have a vlogging?
Exactly. You know, everyone sits down, pulls their phone out.
Yeah.
I mean, that's gonna happen anyway. What century do you think you live in?
Gotta go out, Judge, if someone's recording my match. You pulled that like 3 terms ago. You don't got that.
Wait, what? You're watching the camera as you go out.
Here at the regionals, I got the shit beat out of me, but my homeboy Taylor, undefeated, going into top 8.
Let's go, baby.
Go, bro.
You starting?
All right, here we go. Now the closing ceremony. We are starting off with Weiss Schwarz in 3rd place in the Bushiroad Championship Series Autumn Circuit Weiss Schwarz Regional Qualifiers, Jacksonville, Florida / Atlanta, Georgia. Is Taylor McNeil.
Yeah! My boy!
Takes me. I have some closing argument.
Congratulations.
Show it. Let's see it.
Show it, boy!
Shit.
Hey! You!
And concluding the second part of the podcast here, we are on the way back. How you feeling, Kyle?
Damn good.
Hell yeah. I wasn't able to make it top 8. You weren't able to make it top 8, but
I'd say I got close.
our buddy, yeah, which there'll be like a short little video at the very end of all this. Our buddy who went with us, Taylor, ended up getting 3rd place at it, and I was like, my bruh, he was running Konosuba, so I took a little video of like the little awards ceremony at the end. We were pulling for him so much, man. Like, especially like in particular matchups, but at the same time, just because I wasn't certain how some of his matchups were going to be, and there are blue lights ahead of us. So it is 9:30 in the morning. We are heading back in the rain. Fun. Okay, it's blue lights on the far right.
Here we're
Yeah.
fine.
So yeah, nice long trip back, but at the same time, I'm very glad. Like sure, I didn't place in any way, shape, or form, but I'm really glad I got to experience the regionals. To go into a little bit more detail, from what I understand, a majority of the top 8 were all different decks, if not every single one.
Yeah, everyone was different. There was no same series.
Like, so that one regionals a while back when like the entire top 8 was SAO, that did not happen here. It was all different, and that makes me really happy. Dude who won ran 2 of Rue. Second place was AOT. Third place was Konosuba. Who was the fourth place guy?
I completely forgot to ask.
I don't know. I don't remember what series he ran, but that's your top 3 rundown. I'll have fun trying to go ahead and edit this and get it up, like uploading tonight and tomorrow. So yeah, it's Monday and this is supposed to be up tomorrow. So
Yeah, I gotta get this vlog edited and up by tomorrow. By the way, we'll have a vlog of the adventure if you want to see, and if you want to see shenanigans, you'll go watch.
we'll try to get that posted up. I took pictures. I took a couple videos here and there. Fuck Atlanta, by the way. Like, not for the regionals, but just for the city itself. Like, it's
a big city. That's all I can say. There's panhandling every corner because it's poverty. You can tell that the people that live in Atlanta, they're either super rich or they poor as hell.
yeah, I'm neither, but I'm closer to the latter.
They have tourist traps left and right, but that means they have cool amenities too, like the CNN Center. That was actually really cool.
I do admit, the CNN Center looked badass as hell. I definitely took pictures and video of that. That was great. But,
they had good food. They had a mall on the way back to the, on the way to the hotel. Give me a Shibuya vibe.
yeah, like we were playing Persona 5. I was like, dude, where's the algae fruit stand? We gotta go get that.
There was
Darn
one.
you, I had my 5,000 yen ready to go.
There was one sitting in the corner by the,
5,000 yen's like $50. Who the fuck would pay $50 for that shit? Or was it 500?
It was 500 yen, I'm pretty sure.
I don't know. I thought it was 5,000. But, either way, just if anybody gets the P5 reference, yeah. But I could care less for Atlanta traffic, especially during rush hour. Due to some traffic accidents, we didn't get into Atlanta until later when it was rush hour. So I was like, ah, fuck, oh well.
He was having heart attacks and seizures at the same time.
I can deal with card game pressure, driving around all these other fucking idiots driving. No, I can't handle that. I'm not like claustrophobic by any means of the imagination. I'm just worried because of other idiots. Like that's my biggest issue with having to deal with like public transportation and stuff like that is you have to watch out for other people too much. And I'm outside my comfort zone as far as where I've driven at. I've never driven in Atlanta before. We're from North Carolina, so Raleigh, which is our capital, I don't mind the traffic in Raleigh. Yeah.
Raleigh's nothing compared to Atlanta. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's nothing already, but I also didn't mind that traffic either, which is weird. Granted, I already knew where I was going every time I was going there, it's whatever. But yeah, that's city report. Get back to the,
Do you want a rundown of what I came across?
your matchups? Go for it, dude.
Let me hold the phone so you...
I mean, it makes you up good.
Okay, so first round was that the three. I went 3-2. I won against AOT, Bang Dream, and Cancol.
And you were using the Nico deck.
And I was using Nico. It was Bang Dream that was the first round. So Bang Dream was the first round. I beat Exodia. I beat him before he got the final combo off. I clock shot him, and then on his turn, he reversed. He suicided against the clock Nico, then I clock shot him for game on that. Second matchup was against Madoka Magica, which it was pretty even until he got to his threes. Then he got rid of mine very easily. Third matchup was Attack on Titan. It was a core deck. Needless to say, the deck shat on her at the end, and in the first 2 rounds she couldn't do anything. Fourth round was against Sword Art, the one you watched the matchup.
I remember. Yeah, I saw that one.
It was pretty close. He got lucky the turn I almost killed him. I almost sent him into refresh clock for game, but he had a last shot Xenon, healed it, and he got a lethal clock shoot out of the last card in the deck, and then it went downhill from there. I healed off the burn from Xenon, but then it took everything else. Last round was Kankol. Guy did not know what he was doing. He said he was new, but he had Musashi's and other Akagi Kais and stuff in there, so take that as you want, but I sent him to level 3 when I was on level 0.
Yeah.
So my overall ranking was 21 out of 79.
So, awesome. Let's see. I liked being able to see a nice variety of stuff. Of course, it was really fun. The dude you're talking about, you played Kantai, the very end there. I saw another one of his games. I know exactly who you're talking about. He forgot to call an effect, essentially, on reverse of a particular. It was the new Oyota from set 2, and that was she has an on reverse effect to be able to basically, for under a certain condition, be able to rest herself, to save herself. So he didn't call that on reverse, took 2 more attacks of damage, and then tried to do it in the encore phase. And the guy's like, bro, you missed it. You missed the opportunity because it's on reverse. And he's like, oh, I'm going to do it anyway. I'm like, really? And the other dude's like, called the judge and called the judge over there. And the first judge that showed up explained the situation to him. And the judge was like, I don't know what to do. I'm going, wait, what? Are you serious? Like, I don't think he was there for Weiss. I think he was there for, like, Vanguard or Card Fight. Or, Vanguard is Card Fight. Vanguard or Buddy Fight. Sorry. Blah. I think he was there for that and not Weiss. But if that was the case, if a Weiss table calls for a judge, you don't need to be the one to walk over there. If that's not what you're there for. Anyway. But he's like, yeah, I have no clue what you have to do right now. And the dude who initially called judge was like, the fuck? Yo. And another judge walks up and is like, what's the problem? And they explained it to him. He was able to give the proper ruling on it. And but when the other judge walked away, I explained to him, I was like, hey, just so you know, if you get asked for this type of effect in the future, he couldn't do it because of X, Y, and Z. And explained it to him. He was like, oh, okay, cool. Thanks, bro. You know, just in case he ran across it. He was cool about it, but at the same time, he's just like, yeah, I don't know what the fuck to do. I saw misplays left and right for a lot of people. Both
Plainly
obvious as far as, like,
wrong colors on the...
Yeah, one dude, this wasn't like any of my games. One dude had all red in his level and clock and played a green 1k1 climax, and the opponent did not catch it whatsoever. Of course, I'm not going to say anything. I'm just watching it going, he's eating so much damage for no damn reason. Like I think he took every single attack of damage. I'm just going, what the fuck, dude? But yeah, like, I was... It was a really good experience. I had not been to a regionals for any card game in a couple years now. Oh, no, like a year and a half. I'm sorry. There was a Yu-Gi-Oh one I went to a while back. Me and my buddy Josh Ross went up there. Shout-outs to him. This is in Charlotte, actually. Charlotte's kind of nice.
Very nice.
Kind of weird traffic as well, but very nice city. Continuing on, what else? I'm trying to remember like all the stuff that went on. There was like 2 vendors. Like there wasn't a shop for Bushiroad specifically. Just kind of disappointing because I know Kyle wanted to get stuff. He's just like rip, tears.
I had the money. They weren't there. They lost it.
But as you know, some of the other guys in the group have bought like some really awesome stuff from like the Bushiroad shops. Oh, what else? Like even though I didn't top, and I was still glad that, you know, one of our other buddies did, I didn't feel as bummed out from this regionals as I did from my last Yu-Gi-Oh! From that Charlotte Yu-Gi-Oh! Regionals. I felt extremely bummed out from that for some reason. I was still trying to top in some way, shape, or form in both. I just enjoyed this one more. Like, maybe just that I'm enjoying the game itself more because Yu-Gi-Oh's kind of gone downhill for me. Like, to each their own. If anyone else wants to play it, by all means, but I just refuse to get back into it. I was kind of worried about how the other Vanguard and Buddy Fight players were going to be, because I didn't know if they were like, I only know a couple, like Vanguard fighters or Vanguard players.
The card fighters overall. So what happened, the first day was just card fight. 300 plus people showed up. Half of them, well, it was more like 100 of them, maybe less, I don't know. A good chunk of them didn't make it to the second day. So when we showed up that Saturday, they still mostly had card fight stuff out, trying to get rid of it. When we showed up Sunday, they had Weiss, Buddy Fight, and Card Fight out, because all 3 were going at the same time. The Buddy Fight community was loud, but they were friendly. Same for Card Fight. They were loud and friendly. There was just one guy who couldn't accept the fact that he didn't make it to the top 8 because of its tie. Ties mess up the thing. If there's a bunch of people that went undefeated and one person that lost once, and you lost one, 1-3, and lost and tied again, you ain't gonna make it.
Yeah, I know.
And he fought it for hours, delaying everything.
We didn't get out of there until like what, 9:30?
Yeah, because of one guy disputing it.
It took them forever just to start up the top 8 because all of the judges nobody could run anything. All of the judges were having to get it straight for this dude deciding to essentially ruin it for.
Tell him to go suck a dick.
Yeah, I wish.
Kindly, and I was up there when they were kindly telling him that, but he would not accept it. So he was like, I need official Bushiroad confirmation. Blah, 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 blah. He wouldn't shut the fuck up.
And I'm like, these are official Bushiroad people telling you no. What the fuck?
They even flipped around the computer. This is a generator we use. These are the numbers that you got. Hey, look, you're 10th. Accept it. You got 10 out of 300 something people. Be happy. Out of a fucking luck-ass based game on not getting crit, you got 10th. I'd be happy.
Yeah.
By the way, hi, Timmy. I know you'll laugh at that part. Hi, Timmy.
Shout outs to Timmy the cat.
By the way, I want you guys to come back and laugh. I'm talking to Timmy and Jason out there. There's a deck list that Taylor put out there for you. He gave it a shout out to you guys.
Oh God, yeah. That was hilarious. Oh man.
But as my first regional experience with I went to a card fight one, didn't really do anything, so this is my first actual competing one. It was nice. It was different. Judges were nice. They did the best they could. Overall people were nice. Of course, there were a couple eccentric. I think that's the word.
I think you're right. Like
people.
I had a dude who was like that. There was one of my games. This dude sitting right next to me, every time he would attack a character, this was annoying as fuck, by the way, would yell, "Begone, thought!" Every time he would reverse a character and the person didn't save the character, he would proceed to say it exactly like that every single time, saying, "Begone, thought." And I'm going, you're not a meme. You want to be a meme, son. No. Like it got very annoying. To which me and like all the other guys next to me were like just kind of all like face palming like every single time. Like, "Oh my god, dude. Oh my god, dude, shut up."
But we ran into an incident when we were watching Taylor in the top 8. Some guys thought it'd be funny to get some quote-unquote free shit. Pretty sure they were card fighters, by the way.
That was funny as shit. We were sitting down over to the side, kind of closer to the exit, like as far as for the downstairs area where we were all at. And our buddy Nick had set his stuff out, was going through his cards, was going through some Dragonborn cards and whatnot. He like bought 2 booster boxes while he was there. And
he ran out to get food.
So I'm sitting there watching everybody's stuff while you and Taylor were still playing, I think, in the last round or something like that?
No. He was in top 8 at that point.
He was top 8? Where were you at?
I was over there watching him.
Oh, you were over there? Oh, yeah.
I was over there conversing with him, keeping him entertained, because deck check took forever.
This group of dudes walk over to that table we were sitting at. Like, just, on their way out, one dude looks over, sees Nick's stuff kind of laying out, but I'm watching him do this. He walks over, is like, "Oh, cool, free shit." And I stop him, and I'm like, "No, dude, that's mine." Just the quickest thing I could say, instead of, "Hey, that's my buddy's." I was like, "That's mine," just saying it quick as I could, just to get him to stop. And he kind of looks at me, and is like, and walks off. Like just gives like no fucks whatsoever. Is about to literally is reaching down to take some shit. Well, literally about to grab some of Nick's cards, and I'm like, "You fuck off! I will deck you." Ooh, I was ready to go. I was ready to throw down in Atlanta.
I'm pretty sure they were card fighters.
I'm very certain, but
out of the communities I'm a part of, that is the most toxic.
That was hilarious, though. I'm like, "Ooh, Billy about to stomp somebody with size 16s." We there was ups and downs with like some of the shit. For the most part, I still greatly enjoyed it overall. One of my things going into it was I was kind of worried about people rule sharking me. Obviously, like I know I've mentioned this on a couple podcasts previously as far as like the overtly competitive players. Actually, I know I've addressed that part 1 of this now that I remember.
Yeah, I didn't go against any of those.
Luckily, I didn't have to worry about that shit. I honestly didn't hear people trying to like obtain wins through that either. So I thought that was really cool.
The only people that called judges were questions on cards.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, shout out to the Fairy Tale users out there.
Yeah,
you did pretty damn good for a Fairy Tale deck. I'll give you that. 3-2.
There was like 2 different Fairy Tale guys that went that.
Yep, and none of them were the gray build. I saw Lucy and Natsu and something else. Congratulations.
That was awesome. I was glad to be able to see something like that.
But no, the only time I ever saw judges were when they were asking questions, nothing about the game, but what's going on, like knockout wise, or a question about their card and when they can use it correctly.
That's fair.
Nothing against the other opponent, nothing like that.
Like obviously, like asking, "Hey judge, can he do that?" type thing. Not, "Sir, judge, he didn't perform this effect," or he went ahead and performed a subsequent action before resolving the effect. Like, I at most, there was this one dude that one of the guys I played, and was running Bang Dream, did the standby trigger by playing the climax that lets you summon a character now, is the new standby trigger. He summoned a character over top of another character. You can do that, but the other character has to go to the waiting room. And he just refused to put it in the waiting room until, even though he went ahead into his attack phase. I noticed it was still there, and I was like, "Dude, could you send your character to the waiting room, please?" And he just kind of looked at me like, "Do what?" And I'm like, "Yeah, bro, you summoned over top of it. It goes to the waiting room." he didn't question it. He just was like, oh yeah. Sorry. Like, it was just weird. I'm like, that's kind of what you have to do. But that's whatever. I didn't call judge on nobody for it and be like, he decided not to send his character to the waiting room, and thus forth should be given a loss. That's not how I win. That's not how I'm going to ever try to win, is through those types of meets.
You bet you see that at Worlds, boy. You bet you're going to see that at Worlds.
No, I'm going to be questioning, like, every hour on the hour what our people in our group are doing. Because Taylor is not going to be able to go to it, sadly, sure. Billy is.
I mean, if a series of unfortunate events occur, he has a chance.
Do you want to go to another regionals real soon?
When is the next one?
I do not know. So we're going to be doing research. If it's closer, I would strongly consider it. I would accept. I would even go if there was like one in Virginia.
I don't think there is.
But I would just prefer if it was like, we're pretty close. I'm pretty close to the Virginia border in North Carolina. I would greatly prefer if it was in North Carolina, sure, but that's whatever. But if I do get an opportunity and the time, the resources, the people who want to go with and whatnot, I would very, very much enjoy to be able to go to another regionals really soon, actually. I got ideas for decks. I loved seeing other people's builds. As far as, like, builds I hadn't considered for, like... That's one of the things also, like, with Bang Dream, I saw several different builds of it, not, like, one singular unified build, and I thought that was so cool. It was just all the different possibilities for these different decks I had never considered, and I'm like, okay. Yeah, so I'm definitely going to be trying to work on some new decks. I may even try to see if I can just throw together some decks for my own decks to kind of go over on Rogue Deck Reviews. Obviously not giving it my own rating or anything like that, just kind of, easier to show that way as opposed to actually having to pick up all the cards.
Yeah, true.
I don't know. Just to give... More like... Maybe not like a review, more like a concept. Like, hey, this would be an interesting thing to do. Get people's opinions on it type thing. I don't know.
For me, it's Konosuba. I got Darkness I want to get worked out. And whenever Persona 5 comes out, that'll be my main goal. I got sleeves for it, so now I'm waiting. Patiently. Well, probably going to be another year, but I'm waiting. Patiently. Isn't, what is it? Excel World Infinite Burst coming out?
Yeah, that's next month as we got Infinite Burst coming up.
So Excel World's going to get good.
The month after that is Ordinal Scale. So, for SAO, so.
I might try and pull out an Ordinal Scale deck. That might be a good time waster.
I mean, I got extra SAO stuff. It's all good. I'm curious as to what they're going to get for, the next one. Like, they haven't had anything planned for January just yet. They'll probably wait until we get Infinite Burst and then announce something. I don't know. But as soon as, something for that gets announced, we'll try to go ahead and talk about it. They were doing a survey thing, right? How was your overall regionals experience type thing? And you're asking, where did you come from? Have you been to a regionals before, etc.? And they're like, any comments or suggestions? That was the very last thing.
North Carolina.
All I simply put was, please bring your regionals to North Carolina and Gurren Lagann for English. Because I would so play Gurren Lagann.
Yeah, our shop would actually start supporting Weiss more if we get Gurren Lagann.
Yeah.
It's a fact.
Like, it is really cool, though. Well, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up.
Because the rain's starting to get more serious.
Rain's starting to pick up, and we need to focus on that. So, thank y'all very much for listening. This is Kool-Aid and
Joe Schmo. Remember to check out the blog.
And we will see y'all on the flip side. Peace out for now.